Hello and welcome to Getting Started in the Practice of Tantric Yoga presented by the Śakta-Śaiva Dharma tradition. My name is Dharma Bodhi. I'm the spiritual director of Dharma Inc. And I'd like to take this series of videos to introduce you to a wonderful practice. The Dharma tradition can be studied, and it's very beautiful to study, but it really should be practiced. So here we want to teach you the proper way to get started if you've never practiced in this tradition before. The first thing we like to do is describe what are the basics of Tantric Yoga practice, or this practice of Śakta-Śaiva Dharma. Human beings have three centers, as we say, three centers of consciousness and energy. They relate to our body, our energy, sometimes called speech in Tantric literature, and our mind. The body center relates to activity, our state of health cultivation, our experience of the physical world and our own physical body, basically. And it centers on this lower area here, around the navel. The energy center is related around our heart. It relates to our sensations, our emotions, how we feel the energies around us and within us, and what rapport we have and sensitivity we have with those sensations. That's the energy center. It can be gross energies, and it can be very subtle and refined energies. The center of mind is related to the head center, and it's mostly related to your thinking and your perceptions. What is the quality of my thoughts, the intensity of my thoughts, the rapidity of them, how fast are they coming, how smooth are they? Are there really big open spaces where thinking gives way to just openness? Am I open-minded? Am I judgmental or critical? This is the head center, Has a lot to do with our self-image formation, our constant thinking about ourselves. Even if it's below the radar, we always have this mechanism going of thinking about ourselves. So we have these three centers. We have the body center, the energy center, sometimes called speech center, and the center of mind. In the Tantric Yoga practices that have been going on for 4,000 or 5,000 years, the goal is to get cohesion between these three centers so that all three centers are functioning in a congruent manner. When all three centers of a human being are functioning together, we're said to be present, we're said to be powerful, contented, not distracted, not experiencing anything discursive. So our first goal in Tantric Yoga practice, in this tradition of Śakta-Śaiva Dharma, is to attend to each one of these centers in a very simple way, because this is an introduction, a getting started series. So we will talk about the seated practice for this, how we can work with all these centers to come together, as well as the yoga practices for it, as you know, the moving and physical postures of yoga. When we become one and cohesive as a self, as a mini-self, the next step in our practice is to feel the sense of rapport and unity or oneness with the whole universe. So we go step by step by step in our practice. First, we explore each one of these centers. We learn about them. We learn to empower them, purify them, harmonize them so they get congruity. That alone lifts us up to a place that most human beings on the planet will never know. It releases incredible amount of creative potential that the human being has that he never knows. Creative potential for wisdom and love and enjoyment, contentment, participation, contribution to the world, compassion, and so on. After we gain that congruity and cohesion in our own three centers, and we've really become quite a powerful and beautiful self, we want that self to then dissolve or merge and become one with the greater universe. So universe as self, self as universe. And that would be the next step. That would be the enlightenment step, right? So there's many, many steps in our tantric practice. Now, there are two types of practices we'll be introducing in this series of videos. The first one is the seated practices, and the second we'll be introducing are the integration practices. The seated practices are often called formal practice. This is where we sit down and we develop skills that we then bring into our life, or that we then bring into fruition through the integration practices, which are, as the name sounds, used while we're integrating in everyday life experiences. And we'll discuss ways to enhance both of those experiences. Yeah. So after you move through the series of videos of the getting started practices, and you've been doing them for, who knows, everybody's different, has different aptitude and capacities. Maybe you're doing them a month, maybe you're doing them 1 year, and you're still satisfied with what's happening and getting good growth from it. But when you're feeling like you want the next step, then you'll move to the next step series on the website. You can look for those. So for now, the main points are to really enjoy the practice, Tantric yoga practice of the Śakta-Śaiva Dharma tradition is an exciting journey. It's a really wonderful adventure of self-exploration, exploration of the universe, and how you fit in this universe. The key questions are answered of who am I, where did I come from, where am I going? It's really wonderful. So enjoy that, and you can move to the next video, which would be the body practices.